Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and we're going to review the Android Wear smartwatch, or more specifically, the Moto 360. The Moto 360 has been out, about a month or so, and I've had it for about a month. And before I did the review, I really wanted to do a thorough use of it. I really don't use watches, so I wanted to see if I liked even having a watch, which actually, surprisingly, I did for a while, or still do, and I'm still putting it on every day, so that's a good sign. But I wanted to see if it actually added value, so I could give you a thorough opinion and a really good review of it. The Moto 360 is arguably the best looking Android Wear smartwatch out there. It's got a really nice round face that differentiates itself from the rest of all of the other different options out there. The price is $249 and it comes in a couple different color options. You've got the black as you see here, and you have a silver option, and there are some different band options as well if you can find them in stock. It's got an OMAP 3 chipset inside of it with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 400, 512 megabytes of RAM, 4 gigabytes of storage, and it's a 1.56-inch LCD. The design, as I mentioned before, is round. You do have a black bar at the bottom, but that really doesn't take away from the display in any way from what I've found using it. It's got a nice beveled edge around the outside, and it's really machined well, has a nice heft to it, isn't too heavy, but maybe too large for some. On the sides, it looks like a normal watch. On one side, there's a little hole, though, for a microphone, and then on the other side, you have a little button, which allows you to turn it on, turn it off, and reset it if it was to lock up. The band is made of Horween leather. It's really nice and is wearing quite nicely. For using it for a month or so, it's held out pretty well and hasn't worn hardly at all, just a few little wrinkles. On the bottom you have a plastic piece that's actually scratchable pretty easily, and it allows for those sensors for the heartbeat monitor that's inside of it. So it does scratch, but I'm not really setting it on anything but my wrist or the charger. You have 3 different ways to turn the device on. As I mentioned before, you have the button on the side. You can lift your arm and turn it on, or you can tap the screen and that will turn it on. It also turns on when you get a notification. Now, Android Wear in general is made specifically for these type of wearable devices. It's pretty standardized across all of the different devices and is paired similarly on most devices as well. You pair it with the Android Wear app, and there are other customizable apps for it as well that allow you to change different settings, also change different watch faces, and you can skim through the different interface. It's fairly intuitive once you learn how to do it. If you tap the screen, usually you have to double tap it, it wakes up, and you can speak to it, and you can offer it different commands. As far as navigation goes, you can ask it to navigate. You can also ask it to search for something using Google Now Search. You can ask it to set a reminder or show you your steps and your heart rate and send a text. Pretty much anything you can do with Google Now or Google Voice on Android, you can do here. You can also start and stop stopwatches and alarms and go into settings. To go back, you just swipe to the right, and that brings you back. When you have more information, you swipe to the left if there's more information there. You have a lot of health options as well. As I mentioned before, you have steps. You can see how many steps you've taken throughout the day. It keeps track of this over time, which is really nice. There are some health goals and things you can start as well, and you can also check your heart rate. I've found that the heart rate isn't always accurate, and it also doesn't check it very efficiently. It takes forever to do, but it does keep track of it. Sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's not. It gives you a general idea what your heart rate is at. One of the most important things that you probably don't want to think about is battery life. Battery life, when I first got the watch, actually was pretty bad. I'd go to work, take it off the charger at 7 a.m., get home around 5, and I'd have anywhere from 30% to 50% battery life left, sometimes less. However, Motorola updated the Moto 360 and it actually really dramatically improved battery life. Now that same pattern, take it off the charger at 7, come home at 5, I'm left with about 80% battery life, and nothing really different other than that update. There are a few problems with Moto 360, such as having to reset it anytime you want to pair it to a different phone, and it wipes all of your data. So if you want to swap from, say, an old Moto X to a new Moto X, you can't just simply tell it to repair to that other phone. You have to actually wipe the device, then repair it. I haven't found a way around this. Hopefully they update this in the future. It also seems to respond sporadically, sometimes slow. Sometimes it locks up. I've had to actually hard reset it once, which is weird with a watch. And sometimes it's slow to respond when you raise it from your wrist. So you raise it up, it doesn't turn on. That's pretty frustrating and definitely something that needs to be fixed in the future. Android Wear is going to get better and better as Google updates it over time. It's a pretty standard platform, but they do keep updating it on all the different devices. And the Moto 360 is just the first of the really good devices, in my opinion. I really wanted a good benchmark to compare it with Apple's watch and whatever might come out in the future. So I'd love to hear what you think about Android Wear and specifically the Moto 360. Let me know in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and like this video. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.